Well, I'm very emotional. Okay. That's a strength because I have strong emotions, which makes me fiercely loyal, fiercely protective, very passionate about the things that I love. And that makes me a strong ally to people who are less passionate or less vocal. Like, I'm very vocal, I'm very outspoken. Can that get me in trouble? Yeah, it does all the time. Can it be used for good? Absolutely. Because there's so many people out there that are like, I wish I had the strength to just stand up and say it. And I'm over here like, I'll say it right now. Who needs to hear it? Then I'm like, I'm coming. But I come in like a bull in a china shop, right? And there has to be a medium, right? What I'm saying is, what I perceive as negative is not always negative. It's a strength if used in the right way.
This is the Veritable Veteran Podcast, bringing truth and exposure to the struggles veterans and their families face post-military. Depression, anger, PTSD, suicide. Who am I? What do I do now?
Hey guys, welcome back to the Veritable Veteran Podcast. Today I want to talk about reframing, and I'm talking about that in a psychological, mental health, standpoint. And what it is just kind of changing the way you ask questions of yourself or the way you perceive your own thoughts, and changing it from a negative to a positive. Okay, so I posted a video yesterday, and the question I asked was, instead of asking what is wrong with me, asking yourself, what do I need right now? And when you do that, I mean, it takes your whole perspective and shifts it from like, I'm this screwed up, broken, crumpled mess of a human being that can't ever do anything right. And it shifts it to, okay, I'm lacking something. What is the real problem here? And, that, like, the example I gave is Elijah in the Bible. So Elijah comes off of a huge emotional high. He goes on the mountaintop and he's challenging the prophets of Baal to basically a contest to see whose God is real and whose isn't. The prophets of Baal, basically, they were calling for their God to rain down fire on these sacrifices and burn up the sacrifice. Baal, the Baal prophets, they scream, shout, dance, cut themselves, make fools of themselves and everything. And the whole time Elijah's just making fun of them, like, oh, maybe your God's on the crapper and he just can't hear you. Scream louder, and nothing ever happens. Then Elijah calls for fire. Well, first he soaks the altar in water. I mean, just covers it in tons and tons and tons of water to where it is soaking wet. And then he simply prays to God and says, God, consume this sacrifice. And God consumes not only the sacrifice, but the whole altar and everything around it. So then he orders the slaughter of all the prophets of Baal. And the people rise up, they kill all the prophets, and they're like, yeah, obviously they're fake, and this, their God is not real. Our God is the real God, so they stand with Elijah. Huge win, right? Then Jezebel shows up and she's like, all right, he killed all my prophets. We're killing Elijah. And he flees into the wilderness. And he's on this emotional high, and then he's like, then he's in the toilet emotionally. Okay. He's in the dump. And he basically tells God, I just want to die. Like, just kill me. Just let me die. I'm done. Instead of reprimanding him, God basically forces him to take a nap. He puts him into a deep sleep. Then he wakes up and there's food prepared for him. And the angel that's there says, take and eat. And he does. He eats and he drinks. And then the angel's like, all right, lay back down, like tucks him in, tucks him into sleep, takes a longer nap, wakes up, and there's more food. He's like, take and eat. And he eats. And then he has to go on a journey to this mountain where he's going to encounter God. So he takes a nap, he gets a snack, he takes a nap, he gets a snack, and then he goes on a long walk. Right? So this is clearly what he needed. God didn't say, "You're a broken, stupid, crumpled mess of, I just look what I just did for you over here on this mountaintop, and here you are over here crying in the dirt, begging for me to kill you." He doesn't say that. He says, "Sleep, eat some food, sleep, eat some more food, and then we're going to go for a walk. And then I'm going to talk with you, and I'm going to show you that I'm still here for you." Okay. So when we're in these moments of, I hate myself, like I'm so angry, like, and I hate the fact that I'm angry. I hate the fact that I'm irritable. I'm so frustrated. I can't do anything right. Stop saying what's wrong with me and say, okay, stop. What do I need right now? And it's an interesting concept because the other day, and this has been happening more and more with me lately, the more that I kind of become in tune with my emotions and what's going on in my head. I can start to tell when I'm getting irritable and when it doesn't sneak up on me like it used to. It used to just come out of nowhere and it would just, just blindside me. Okay. And then I would just be left reeling, right? Like, how did that happen? Where did that come from? I've started to notice the signs now, and I'm starting to pick up on indicators like, ooh, that, them doing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Why? And then I'm like, oh, wait, I haven't eaten in the last 6 hours. Like I ate breakfast, but I haven't eaten all day. So no wonder I'm edgy. Like I'm hungry. My body needs sustenance, or I haven't drank any water today. So I'm probably dehydrated, or I haven't exercised lately, or there's a stressor going on, and or I've been pushing myself too hard and I need to just go take a nap. And it doesn't have to be it's not normally some grand thing like I need to get, heavy medication and I need to go to inpatient therapy and all this other stuff. Most of the time, there are times that is necessary. Most of the time, it's something small. I'm hungry. My back hurts. Like I injured my back working out last week and I haven't been able to exercise this week and it's been pissing me off. My back hurts, so my fuse is shorter. I haven't been able to exercise, so I haven't been able to get that release. I haven't been able to get the endorphins and the dopamine from my long runs that I go on. I haven't been able to go to the gym, so I haven't been able to feel that level of like I'm doing something for my body and my health. I've just been sitting around a bunch or walking around slowly because my back is pretty sensitive. That's frustrating, but I know that. So when my kids start acting up and I'm like, I'm starting to like blow up, I'm like, okay, calm down. I'm already on edge. Like I need to deal with this and I need to give myself some extra space. But reframing takes those negative thoughts we have. And this is a lot of this comes from cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, as you'll hear it called. And it works well for some people. Some people it doesn't work well for, but it's just about changing your perspective from negative to positive. So I've been going to therapy recently. So in talking with her, I've been dealing with just kind of, just stressors. It's life, right? Things are breaking, stuff's kind of falling apart around the house. The van is messed up. The kids are home for summer, so there's always that stress of, just having the kids around all day long. And I work from home, so escaping them is, it's always a challenge. But my frustration particularly focused on, providing for my family and uh just because there's been some stress in the financial area of life. And again, we're not struggling financially, but it's if the trend continues, we could be, right? And I've just been stressing about that and I've been trying to focus on that. The reframing that she wanted to, and she didn't put it this way, she didn't state it this way, but when I'm looking at it, that's what we're doing. She's helping me reframe what's going on. Reframing it to be instead of like, I need to provide for my family and I'm not doing that and I'm scared that we're gonna be broke, which has literally never happened. It's just an irrational fear that I have. It's a legitimate concern, but being afraid and letting that negatively impact my mood, my emotions, my irritability, all these things is not okay. Um, so reframing it to what do my kids need right now from me? They need me to be present. I'm able to be home. They're home from school. My wife is here. She's working from home as well. And they need me to be present to play with them and to be emotionally available to them while they're here. And that becomes my goal, my mission, my job. And focusing on it that way, instead of being like, well, I'm not doing enough in these other areas, it's like, okay, well, let's focus on this area where you can do something. And it's just shifting the perspective from, well, this isn't working over here to let's do some stuff with the kids. Let's do some stuff with them to help them understand that they are loved and they're being cared for. And you're focusing on the positives of actually being able to be there for them and play with them and be present with them. So just reframing that again from the negative of like, I'm not doing enough to provide for my family. And that's not saying we neglect, providing for our family. That's not what's going on in my current situation. It's just the way I was thinking about it. Um, One really neat thing that just came to me a little bit ago was the question, instead of asking what is wrong with me, asking what do I need right now, flip that into asking someone else that question. Like your spouse is having a problem and they're really irritable, or your children are just emotionally volatile and they're just, screaming at everything, they're crying about everything, they're fighting with everybody. Pull them aside and say, what do you need right now? And that they may be like, I don't know. It's okay, okay, okay. Calm down. But think about it. Like, what would help you feel better? What would help you be able to process what's going on better? Right. And with your spouse, you just pull them aside and be like, what do you need from me right now? What do you need right now? Do you need to go to the store to get away for a little bit? Do you need to go to the gym? Do you need to go get a cup of coffee? Do you need food? Do you need me to take something off of your plate and I can take care of it? Or what do you need from me? But that way they understand that they're being seen, they're being heard, and then actually do what you say you're going to do. Don't just say, like, what do you need from me? And then just disappear and be like, oh, well, they need me to do that, but I'm not going to do that. Like, no, you have to be willing to actually do what they're saying to an extent. You can't do everything, obviously, if they give you some completely unreasonable expectation, but being available to them, like your kids, they may just be like, I think I need a nap. You'd be surprised how many times my kids have actually said that when I'm like, what do you, and I don't do this as often as I should, but I have asked them like, what do you need right now? And they'd be like, I think I just need a nap. And they're just, and then I'm like, oh, wow, that was insightful. Come here. Okay, let's go lay down for a little bit. Or they're like, I'm just hungry, or whatever it is. It's when you ask them that, you'd be surprised at how well they're able to articulate kind of what's going on in their head and why they're feeling the way they're feeling when they're given the space to explain it. Because most of the time we're like, oh, stop crying. Just leave me, just stop fighting. And then we just keep saying that, stop fighting, stop fighting, stop fighting. Okay, that's not going to help anything. Stop fighting. Okay. Wow, that worked. I'm just magically happy again. That's like, stop being sad. Okay. Like, let me just, oh, look, I'm fixed. Stop being depressed. It's all in your head, right? We say these things without thinking because it's like, well, that's one, that's probably what we heard when we were younger. And two, that's what we want to happen right now is just the fighting to stop. Right. That's what we want. But to get there, we need to figure out how to help them to stop fighting and just understand better what's going on in their minds and what's going on in their hearts and being like, hey, what do you need right now? And is there anything I can do to help you? Now, sometimes it just needs to be like, hey, listen, I don't know what's going on with you right now, but I need you to stop doing what you're doing. And if that means like go to your room so you can calm down, I understand there's times where it just needs to happen. Like you don't have time to have these conversations. But if you have just a couple minutes, pull them aside and be like, hey, what do you need from me right now? What do you need right now? Do you need a nap? Do you need a snack? Do you need some water? Do you need to go for a walk? Do you need some quiet time? Do you need some space? What do you need that allows them to reframe in their minds away from what is wrong with me or I'm so dumb or I'm so stupid? It's like, no, no, no. You're just lacking something or you're doing too much because it's one of the two. You're either lacking something, there's something you need, or there's something you need to stop doing. So what is it, do you think? Well, I think I need to go for a walk. Okay, go for a walk. Go get a snack, whatever it is. But by reframing that, it allows them to change their perspective from the negative, I don't know what to do about why I'm this way, to, oh, these are actionable steps I can take. I can actually go and like start working on getting myself out of this negative space and into something positive. I'm going to read. This is from mentalhealth.com. Reframing questions involves changing the way a question is asked to shift perspective, encourage deeper thinking, and open up new possibilities for understanding or problem solving. Reframing questions is a cognitive and conversational technique that allows individuals to view a situation, problem, or thought from a different angle. By altering the wording or focus of a question, you can move from a limiting or negative perspective to one that is constructive, empowering, or solution oriented. Again, reframing a question isn't going to solve your problems, but it can give you practical steps to take to get yourself into a better headspace. And if you're like, well, I'm going to, what do I need? Oh, I need a drink. Like, no, I need a, I need a dab. I need to hit a, whatever drug or whatever. No, no, it's not what you need. That may be what you want. It's not what you need. Okay. And that's a whole nother conversation, but practical techniques for reframing. And again, this is from mentalhealth.com. Clarify the core issue. Okay. The kids fighting is not necessarily the core issue. It might be, but not necessarily. Your wife, you know, you go to touch your wife or give her a hug and she's like, don't touch me because she's overstimulated, right? And that really sets you off. That's probably not the core issue, right? Why are you, you need to focus on like, wow, that was a kind of an over the top reaction. Why am I reacting this way? What do I need right now? Like, instead of saying immediately like, "Oh, what is wrong with me?" You know, because I reacted negatively to the kids fighting. Like what's the core issue? Am I hungry? Am I tired? Am I exhausted? Do I need to move my body? What is it? Do I need some time alone? Clarifying the core issues of what's really going on that's causing you to react that way. Shifting from a negative to a constructive mindset. Replace judgmental or limiting language with open ended, solution focused phrasing. For example, what obstacles are in my way can become what strategies can help me overcome this challenge. Some of these questions are kind of weird, like they get a little self helpy sounding and new agey kind of, I don't know, but the premise is still there. Adopt a curious or empathetic stance. Use questions that explore perspectives, motivations, or possibilities, such as how might others view this situation? Or what strengths can we leverage here? This is a good one that I've used in my own head is I'll try to take a step back from my situation and say, what would I tell somebody that was in the same situation if they came to me for help right now? Like pretend that I'm not me. I'm Bob, and me is me over here. And Bob comes to me and he's like, "Hey, I'm dealing with this stuff, going on." And then I go through what's going on either out loud or like in my head, saying it to myself in my head, being like, I'm experiencing this. I'm experiencing financial troubles because our van keeps screwing up. We're about to go on a vacation. I'm about to help my in-laws move. We got the kitchen torn apart. We're taking all the cabinets down and we're painting them and sanding them. Uh, I've got school going on, and these are all legitimate things going on in my life right now, in case you're wondering. I'm in school. I've got all this stuff going on. And, that's Bob telling me the problem. What would I say to him? Okay, well, it sounds like you got a lot going on. So you may just need to, find some space for yourself, find a creative, positive outlet for this. Oh, and my back hurts, so I you know, can't go for a run or go to the gym. Oh, great. Okay. Well, we got to find something else to do. But look at it from somebody else's perspective and say, or look at it from your perspective, looking into somebody else's situation, and then ask yourself, okay, what would I say to them? Or how would they give me advice if I was asking somebody? if you can't ask someone currently, or if, somebody, whoever you're going to ask is not available, or you just don't have somebody to ask. What strengths can we leverage here? This is an interesting one because I have often said to myself and to my wife, um, why can't I just be normal? And this is a question that needs to be reframed because it needs to be deleted from people's vocabulary. Because here's the thing, look at it this way. Would you ever pay a compliment to somebody that went like this? Wow, you are really normal. If someone said that to me, I'd be like, are you insulting me? Because that sounded like an insult. Like, you're, man, you are extraordinarily normal. That, again, that sounds like an insult. It's like a velvet dagger. Like, I'm being nice, but I'm still, I'm going to get you. What is normal? Who gets to decide what normal is? Now, I understand there's like abnormal reactions and there's, negative things, there's things that are clearly outside the realm of normal. Okay. But with me, one thing that I've started reframing in my own mind is why do, questions like, what makes me not normal? Well, I'm very emotional. Okay. Um, that's a strength because I have strong emotions, which makes me fiercely loyal, fiercely protective, very passionate about the things that I love. And that makes me a strong ally to people who are less passionate or less vocal. Like I'm very vocal. I'm very outspoken. Can that get me in trouble? Yeah, it does all the time. Can it be used for good? Absolutely. Because there's so many people out there that are like, oh, I wish I had the strength to just stand up and say it. And I'm over here like, I'll say it right now. Who needs to hear it? And I'm like, I'm coming. But I come in like a bull in a china shop, right? And there has to be a medium, right? What I'm saying is what I perceive as negative is not always negative. It's a strength if used in the right way. Okay. It's the same thing that, people, they're like, well, I'm short. Okay. Well, congratulations. You don't have to buy big and tall clothes. Being small has always made me fast. Right. So and then there's certain situations. I'm travel size. I fit in the back seat of a car. It's fun. Like, I fit in everywhere. It's cool. And plus I don't have to worry about when I'm on an airplane. Like I have leg room because, I'm a hobbit or a dwarf. So whatever. There's always something positive, and reframing our mindset to find that positive is it's really helpful and it's hard. It takes practice. It's developing those new neural pathways. I mean, we develop these ruts in our mind that we get stuck in because we just keep going down the same path over and over and over and over again. That's why it's so hard to get out of them. Because it's like, you know, like imagine a train, right? A train takes the same path back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But once you've realized, like, hey, maybe this path is like not a good path, right? What do they have to do? They can't just pull the train off the track and have it run down, on the ground, right? They have to rebuild, they have to build a new track, a new path for this train, right? They have to literally intentionally build piece by piece, section by section, a new train track to reach a different destination. They can't just steer it and, oh, we're going to cut through the woods here. No, you're not. You're going to derail and you're going to hurt somebody. It takes intentional construction of a new path. That's what has to happen in our brain, right? We have to be able to say, this path that I've been on is not constructive. It is destructive. It is not helping me. I need to change. Okay. You can't just say, I'm going to change and then plant yourself somewhere and expect something to happen. You have to take intentional steps towards where you want to go. Reframing can help you do that. It's not the only step. There's a lot of steps and it's a lot of work, but reframing can help you do that. Instead of saying, what's wrong with me? You say, what do I need right now? Instead of saying, why can't I be normal? You say, what emotions that I have or what about me makes me different in a positive way? Because again, nobody wants to be complimented by someone calling them normal or you are spectacularly normal. Like, ouch, that was rude. If I heard that again, I'd be like, really? Wow, that was really rude. So when you think of it that way, because again, I've said this to myself so many times, why can't I just be normal? And I listened to in my one of my college classes, I listened to a girl who was autistic, and she did a TED talk, and she's very successful in her speeches because she goes around talking about how autism's not a disability. It's I think she described it almost as like a super ability because she's like, my imagination is so creative and imaginative and just broad. And she's like, and everything's an adventure to her, and it's really neat listening to her talk about how her perspectives don't make her different in a bad way. They make her different in a good way. And she's like, I don't want to be normal. Normal sounds really lame. Like when you join the military, because I mean, again, not all my audience, not all of you guys are veterans or served in the military, but a lot of you did. When you joined the military, you didn't want to be normal, right? Like you wanted something more. You wanted to serve a higher purpose. You wanted to serve and work towards a common goal with other people. That's not normal. You're probably not a normal person. Normal people are boring. So why would we want to be normal? And I'm talking to myself because I even there's times that when I get really emotional or when I have a really bad reaction or when I have a really negative uh, string of things that I've done or just made some harebrained decisions, I'm like, why can't I just be normal? Again, the desire to fall inside I guess the parameters of what would be considered normal, I don't think is a bad thing. Because if you're like way out here in, left field or whatever, and you're just doing things that are crazy, like obviously that's not okay. That's not good. But don't look at it as trying to be normal. Like you're not trying to be normal. Normal is it's lame. Lame. Normal equals lame. We don't need to be normal. So we're on this path of trying to better ourselves. Our mindset, what we think about ourselves, what we say to ourselves makes a huge difference in how we go down this path, right? It's really neat when you look at reframing stuff and trying to change the way we ask these questions to ourselves, change the way we say these things to ourselves. Benefits of reframing questions: encourages creative problem solving and new insights, reduces emotional intensity and stress by shifting focus from blame to learning, enhances communication and collaboration in personal and professional settings. Okay, imagine this. You start doing this, you start reframing, and you start asking yourself, what do I need right now? And the next time you're about to blow up on your spouse and you feel like this rage coming on, or say you blew up, and then you stop and you go, babe, I think I just need to go eat some food and have some quiet time. Or I really think that it would be good for me to go to the gym so I can kind of work through this. And your spouse might be like, yeah, you better go. But what I'm saying is, imagine if you were able to communicate that rather than just shutting down and walking away or just leaving and not telling her why you left or him why you just did what you did, right? Imagine being able to sit down and or just pull them aside and be like, listen, I have been working really, really hard and I am exhausted. Um, would it be okay if I just went and laid down for a little bit? I think what I need right now to be able to be the best husband and father I can be is to just take a 30-minute nap or go for a 20-minute walk or go to the gym or I need to go make some food. Imagine being able to communicate that rather than just shutting down and storming out of the house and leaving. The benefits of this are not only for you, it's for your family and those closest to you. And even at your job, being able to go in and be like, "Hey boss, listen, I am stressed the F out. I need to take tomorrow off. Like I need a vacation day. Can you give me tomorrow off?" And then the boss, is like, "Okay, yeah." I mean, or maybe he's like, "Oh, I can't give you tomorrow, but I can give you the next day." Or I can't give you this week because we have too many people off, but I can give you, the first day of the next week, whatever it is. Just being able to communicate that and letting people know, like, hey, this is what I need right now. to be the best employee that I can be, or to be the best husband, the best father, the best friend, whatever it is, I need this. Imagine just being able to communicate that. Wouldn't that help? It would help. I know it would. Silly question. Supports resilience and emotional well being by promoting flexible thinking. By consistently practicing reframing, individuals can develop a lifelong skill for navigating challenges, improving conversations, and fostering personal growth. Reframing things into a positive mind, a positive perspective, can change a lot in your life. It's not going to solve all your problems, but it is one step. And especially if you're like, man, why are you so stupid? Stop saying negative things about yourself and start trying to find out, like, why did I react that way? Well, it's because I'm dumb. No, don't do that. No. Why did I react that way? Well, go through the checklist. Have I moved my body enough? Have I moved my body too much? Have I eaten enough food? Have I eaten too much food? Have I eaten the wrong kinds of food? Have I been hydrating and taking care of myself? Is there a imbalance with my medicine? What do I need right now? Oh, maybe that's why I reacted that way, because I haven't eaten in 12 hours or whatever it is. It helps us gain insight into our minds and our bodies and why we're doing what we're doing. So I hope this helps. It really helped me. I really like that reframe is, what is wrong with me? Changing it to what do I need right now? And then also being able to flip that around and use that with, your family and friends, talking to them and being like, hey, what do y'all need right now? What do you need from me? What can I do for you right now? When you see that they're in that. And that's kind of the next step, is being able to, you know, one, recognize it for yourself, and then two, recognize it in other people and being like, hey, what do you need from me? What can I do? So I really hope this helped. It helped me. It's helped me kind of just refocus away from the negative self-talk and the negative self-perception that I've had of myself for a long time. So I hope this helps you guys. If it has, I just, if you can, if you know somebody that could use this, just share the show. Just share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with, on social media, whatever, wherever you can. That's the best way to help this reach the people who need it, is just by sharing it. So share the show. If you want to be on the show, go to the website, theveritableveteran.com, or email me at evan@theveritableveteran.com and just fill out the podcast request form, and we can get you on the show, and you can come on and just talk about your story and what you found has helped you. And then, that'll help others. Because again, the more people that tell their stories, the more people get heard and the more people find help, because they realize they're not alone. But I love you guys. I'll see you next week. Hey guys, quick reminder, if you enjoyed the episode today, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, go to whatever platform you listen to these podcasts on and leave a review. That's the best way to help us out. It gets a lot more traffic to us. So again, if you liked it, like, subscribe, and leave a review. All right. Love you guys.